welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at gods5minutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. If you've read the Christmas story in the book of Luke, you know that Jesus was born in Bethlehem. Luke told us, and it came to pass in those days, that there went a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria. And all went to be taxed, every one into his own city. Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was, that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. The prophet Micah foretold this event with these words, Micah 5:2, But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. Jesus was born at exactly the time when the Roman Empire had extended itself farther than ever before or since. The taxation mentioned here was the first of subjugated Judea by the Roman power, signifying the fulfillment of dying Jacob's prophecy that Shiloh should come when the scepter was departed from Israel. It is also significant that Jesus was born at a time when there was a rare peace throughout the Roman Empire, as befitted the birth of the Prince of Peace. Jesus was born in Bethlehem, the very name of which means the house of bread, which also was appropriate for the bread of life. Nor was that all. Bethlehem was the city where David was born, and God planned it also to be the place where David's great descendant would also come into this world in human form. To make that happen, something special had to take place. Joseph and Mary didn't live in Bethlehem and had no intention of going there. Had the Emperor Augustus made his decision 3 months earlier or 3 months later, the unfolding of the plans of God would have been thrown into confusion. God knew how long it would take to set the registration machinery of the empire into action. He knew precisely how long it would take for officials to reach their place of duty and when the little city would be crowded beyond capacity. Augustus' decree required enrollment by ancestry. To establish the lineage of his son, God caused its establishment to the whole empire. When every detail had been finalized, things began to move, not primarily as the emperor decreed, but according to the will of God. Swaddling clothes were long strips of cloth the Jews wrapped around their waists, put on long journeys for use in preparing a body should a death occur. So Jesus was wrapped in Joseph's death cloth. Luke named the swaddling clothes before he did the manger, because they were a sign from God of Jesus' mission into the world to die for all. And the shepherds were told these clothes would be a sign they had found the correct king. Job said that God makes darkness a swaddling bland for the sea. He that makes him a darkness, a swaddling bland for the sea, was himself wrapped in swaddling bands. The everlasting Father became a child of time. Men said to him whose outgoings were of old from everlasting, We know this man whence he is. The Ancient of Days became an infant less than 24 inches long. Jesus was born in the stable of an old inn, which is a place for temporary accommodations for travelers. He was in this world throughout his lifetime a pilgrim and a stranger, and he set before us that same example for us as we follow him as Christians. We may not all be born in mangers, we may not all be outcasts of the world in which we live, but we all are pilgrims and strangers when they follow in the footsteps of the gentle Lamb of Calvary. I hope his presence will be a blessing in your home during this holiday season. And have you talked to him today?
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at godsfive minutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.